You ever notice how the world suddenly shifts into a collective trance every December? Most people are drowning in a sea of mindless consumerism, credit card debt, and the desperate need to reward themselves for a year of mediocrity. I'm Kyle, and I'm here to tell you that this specific window of time is the ultimate separator between the masses who stay broke and the elite who build empires. While everyone else is busy chasing the next dopamine hit at a mall, the wealthy are quietly auditing their failures and positioning their capital for a massive offensive. This isn't just about New Year's resolutions that die by February. This is about a fundamental psychological pivot that dictates your net worth for the next decade. If you stay tuned until the very end, I'm going to give you the exact framework I use to turn the final weeks of the year into a financial springboard. Stop being a spectator in your own life. The clock is ticking, and the decision you make in the next 14 days will either anchor you to your current struggles or launch you into a completely different tax bracket. Let's get to work. The problem isn't that you don't make enough money, it's that you have no respect for the velocity of capital during the holiday season. The holiday trap is a billion-dollar psychological operation designed to extract every cent of your liquidity just when you should be deploying it. Look at the data. The average person spends over $1,000 on holiday expenses, often on high-interest credit, effectively starting the new year in a massive financial hole. I want you to contrast that with the mindset of a builder. While the common man sees a sale and thinks he's saving money, the rich man sees an outflow of assets that could have been compounded. It is a mathematical tragedy. Every dollar you waste on a temporary status symbol this month is a soldier you've sent to die in a war you aren't even winning. Why does this matter? Because momentum is a real force in finance. If you enter January with debt and a depleted savings account, you aren't starting at zero, you're starting at -10. You are literally paying interest for the privilege of staying poor, while the market prepares to reward those who kept their powder dry and ready. Let's talk about the year-end mirage. Most of you tell yourselves that you'll start fresh on January 1st, but that is a lie designed to soothe your ego while you indulge in bad habits today. You think the calendar change carries some magical power to transform your discipline, but your bank account doesn't care about your fireworks or your champagne toasts. It only cares about your habits. The common thought is that the end of the year is for resting. The correct thought is that the end of the year is for tactical repositioning. If you can't control your impulses when the lights are bright and the music is loud, you will never have the grit to manage real wealth when the stakes are actually high. Think about the opportunity cost. That bonus you just spent on a new gadget could have been the seed for a brokerage account that pays you dividends for the rest of your life. You are trading your future freedom for a moment of social approval from people who are just as broke as you are. Stop lying to yourself about your intentions and start looking at your transactions. Numbers don't have feelings, and they certainly don't care about your holiday spirit. To escape this cycle, you need to adopt the Capital Commander framework. Wealthy people don't view money as a medium for consumption, they view it as a tool for leverage. Imagine your money as a workforce. Every dollar is an employee. When you spend money on depreciating assets during the holidays, you are firing your best workers right when the market is about to go on sale. Principle number 1, opportunity cost awareness. Before every purchase, ask yourself how much that capital would be worth in 10 years if it were invested at an 8% return. That $500 coat isn't $500, it's $5,000 of your future self's freedom. Principle number 2, the 10% pivot. While others increase spending by 30% in December, you must commit to increasing your investment rate by at least 10%. This creates a massive divergence in wealth over time. Wealthy individuals use this time to perform tax loss harvesting and rebalance portfolios, while the poor are busy rebalancing their closets. The difference is stark. One group is playing a game of decades, while the other is playing a game of days. Which one are you? Another mental model I live by is the threshold of pain versus the threshold of pleasure. Most people are wired to seek immediate pleasure, which leads to long-term financial pain. If you want to be rich, you must invert this. You need to find pleasure in the discipline of delayed gratification. Look at the before and after of a disciplined investor versus a compulsive spender over a 5-year year-end cycle. The spender has a house full of outdated tech and dusty decorations, but a flatlined net worth. The investor has a lean lifestyle, but a burgeoning portfolio that generates enough passive income to buy 10 times what the spender has without ever touching the principal. This is the power of the wealth snowball. In the beginning, it's small and requires massive effort to push, but once it gains momentum, it becomes an unstoppable force. The end of the year is the best time to pack more snow onto that ball. If you don't start pushing now when the resistance is highest, you'll never have the strength to keep it moving when things get tough. You have to decide if you want to look rich now or actually be wealthy later. Let's break down the audit and attack principle. You cannot manage what you do not measure. Rich people are obsessed with their balance sheets. They don't guess, they know. They know their burn rate, their savings rate, and their ROI. Every December, you should be performing a brutal autopsy on your spending habits from the past 12 months. Where did the leaks happen? Which small subscriptions turned into a $1,000 drain? The common person avoids this because looking at the numbers hurts, but Kyle is here to tell you that pain is the only thing that will provoke change. You need to confront the reality of your financial situation with the cold precision of a surgeon. Once you identify the waste, you attack it. You cut the dead weight and redirect those funds into active assets, things that put money back in your pocket. This isn't about being cheap, it's about being efficient. A Ferrari is a great toy, but only after your assets have already paid for it 10 times over. Until then, you are just a person in an expensive car who is one paycheck away from a total collapse. Now, let's move into the tactical application. You need a year-end firepower strategy. Step 1. The spending freeze. For the next 21 days, you buy nothing that isn't essential for survival. No treat-yourself moments, no "it's only $5" traps. This isn't just about the money, it's about reclaiming your autonomy from the marketing machines. Step 2. The 50-50 bonus rule. If you receive a year-end bonus or a tax refund, 50% goes directly into a high-yield investment or debt repayment. The other 50% stays in your emergency fund. You don't celebrate with it, you secure your future with it. Step 3. The subscription call. Go through every statement and cancel every recurring payment that doesn't directly contribute to your health or your wealth. You'd be shocked how much ghost money is leaving your account every month. These are specific, actionable steps that you can take today. Don't tell me you'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is the graveyard of dreams. If you can't handle a simple spending freeze for 3 weeks, you will never have the discipline to manage a $1 million portfolio. Let's talk numbers and timelines. If you take an extra $2,000 that you would have spent on holiday nonsense and invest it into a low-cost index fund, and you do this every year for 30 years, that single decision, just the December decision, could result in over $200,000 in additional wealth. That is the difference between retiring in comfort or working a retail job at 70. You need to anticipate the social trap. Your friends will mock you. Your family will call you a Scrooge. They will try to guilt-trip you into spending money to prove your love or your status. This is an objection you must overcome. Real love isn't expressed through plastic toys made in a factory. It's expressed through the security and legacy you build for your family. The pitfall here is the sunk cost fallacy, thinking that because you already spent some money, you might as well keep spending. Wrong. Stop the bleeding immediately.
Every minute you spend justifying a bad decision is a minute you lose in making a good one. Be the person who is okay with being misunderstood in the short term so you can be envied in the long term. Framework for income acceleration. The end of the year is the best time to negotiate your value. Most companies are setting budgets for the upcoming year right now. Instead of just hoping for a raise, you need to present a value dossier. Show the data of what you contributed this year. If you are an entrepreneur, this is the time to launch that beta version of your side hustle. People are in a buying mood. Make sure they are buying something that builds your equity, not someone else's. Aim for a specific timeline. By March 31st, you should have your first wealth pillar fully funded. Whether that's a 3-month emergency fund or a specific stock position, make it tangible. Use a bucket system for your cash flow. 50% for needs, 30% for aggressive investing, and 20% for future-focused education. Notice there is no bucket for mindless crap. If you want that, it has to come out of the 50% after you've optimized your lifestyle. This is how you win. It's not a secret, it's a strategy. It's about being more calculated than the person next to you. Here is your 90-day wealth roadmap. Days 1 through 30, the cleanse. Execute the spending freeze and perform the financial audit I mentioned. Identify exactly $500 in monthly waste to cut. Days 31 to 60, the foundation. Redirect that $500 into a high-yield savings account or a debt snowball payment. Open a brokerage account if you haven't already. Days 61 to 90, the automation. Set up automatic transfers so your wealth builds while you sleep. By the end of these 90 days, you should have a measurable increase in your net worth and a psychological shift that makes spending money on stuff feel physically painful. Your first milestone is the FU Fund, $1,000 that sits between you and a life-ruining emergency. Once you have that, you aren't a victim of circumstances anymore. You are a participant in the economy. This roadmap is your escape hatch from the rat race. It is achievable, it is realistic, and it is entirely dependent on your ability to say no to the world so you can say yes to your future self.
Avoid these 7 fatal errors that will keep you stuck in the broke loop. Error 1. Using buy now, pay later services. This is high-interest poison disguised as convenience. Error 2. Comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel on social media. Error 3. Failing to account for small leaks. Those $5 lattes add up to a car payment over a year. Error 4. Not having a dedicated investment day every month to review your progress. Error 5. Investing in things you don't understand because of FOMO. Error 6. Thinking you have plenty of time to start. Time is the only asset you can't buy more of. Error 7. Neglecting your financial education. If you aren't reading books or watching educational content like this, your mind is atrophying. These errors are common because they're easy. Being wealthy is hard because it requires you to be different. Correct these today by setting a calendar alert for your first audit day. If you don't schedule it, it won't happen, period. The formula is simple. Sacrifice the present to secure the future, or sacrifice the future to enjoy the present. You cannot have both. My name is Kyle, and I'm telling you right now that you have the power to break the chains of generational poverty, starting with the very next dollar you touch. Your action item for today is this. Go to your bank app, look at your last 30 days of spending, and find 3 things you can cancel right now. Just 3. Tell me in the comments exactly what you cut and how much it's going to save you over the next year. I want to see the commitment. Don't just watch this and go back to scrolling. Be the person who takes action. Remember, your bank account is a reflection of your discipline, not your luck. Let's stop making excuses and start making deposits. Build your empire, grow your mindset, and rewire your brain for abundance. The year is ending, but your new life is just beginning. I'll see you at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. Go get what's yours.